Hello and welcome. So, what are the React props? How can we use the React props in the components in the React JS, right? So, how can we access the value? How can we pass the props, and whether we can change the value of the props or we can change the prop or not, right? So, these are some few questions which will be covered in this lecture, and I'll share some interview tips, interview questions in this lecture as well. In the last lecture, we have covered the React state. How can we initialize and how can we use the states and change the value of the state in the class-based component and the function components. So let's move to the concept and the logical and theoretical part. Sorry. So basically, what are the React prop? React prop, like we have used the C++ or Python or Java or JavaScript or any language, we pass the parameters or the arguments to the function in the JavaScript language or in any other language. So in a similar way, we use the HTML like an HTML attribute. We can pass the props to the components as an argument, right? And we can use it. How can we pass? We can pass like this. So Ford is the value of the brand, and brand is the prop to the car component, and this is how we can pass the brand like any prop. This is basically the string type, and we can pass the prop to the car based car component. Car is the class based component, and we can use the value like this dot props dot brand, and we can pass variable, string, number, object, or any value in the prop. And this is basically the most commonly asked question in the React interviews, that we can change the value of the state. So can we change the value of the prop as well? So or this is also a question, that what is the difference between the state and the prop? So mainly this is one of the main differences, that we can change the value of the state, but we cannot change the value of the prop. The props are read only. We will get an error if you will try to change the value of the prop, right? So let's move to the coding part of this video. So we have two states defined in the car component. So let me show you the output of this first. So this is basically chain, and we are capitalizing and changing it to the lowercase on the press of the button. And this is the car component. Car is Audi, and model of car is 2024, and model and brand is are basically states. You can see over here we are using the use state hook. So now let's define an other component and keep it in the garage.js file. So let's say we have a component like this, and we have garage equals arrow function notation, and we are returning the JSX, and we are exporting this component from file to a file, so that we can use it in any other file as well. Garage. So basically we have to export default, right? Now we have to returns JSX like this. Okay, so basically let's assume it is getting the prop, and we are we are having this, we are having h4, and we have in heading we have I, and the car is in garage now, and we can have like this. We can define it in a similar way, but let's change h3 to let's say like this, and change it to h3, right? So we have probe. So now we can't use the brand over here because we don't have brand state in this component. So how can we use? We can firstly we have to import the garage component in this import garage component like this. Okay, so now we want to call the garage component. So this is how, let's comment it out, and So this is how what it says that okay, so we have to change it to capital G. So this is how we can call the child component, right? Car is in garage now. Now we want that this brand and this model, we want to call this component and we want to pass the probe. So we can pass the probe like this or we can pass like brand. Name of the probe is brand and we want to pass the value, and let's say Audi is the brand. And now you can see over here, car is what, we can't use the brand now. We have to use the probe dot brand, because probe, we are catching the probe in the over here in the constructor, and as a parameter, sorry, argument, and probe dot brand is basically the probe name we are passing over here, and probe is basically the object. So we are getting the brand name from the probe. So car is Audi, right? So we are using H5. Sorry, we have to use the H4 tag. Car is Audi, right? So what we are going to study now, that we are using the probe to pass the string based value. What if I have to pass the number? So I will use the curly braces in that case, and let's say it is 2020. So we have to use like this, year of car is like, we can use prop is the object, and what we want to use from that object is year, right? So let's see the output. So year of car is 2020, and if I change the value to 2024 over here, so now we can see the year of car is 2024. But now we have seen that how to pass the probe, how to get the probe, you get the probe, and how to use the probe value. So now what if I want to pass the complete object, or we are using basically the string over here, but we want to pass this variable or this state, right? So what I will do, I will remove this, put the curly braces, and use the name of the like variable or something, and I can use the variable here as well. We are passing the state over here. What if I want to pass the variable? So 2024, and here I will write like this. Okay, so now you can see it is still same. And now we will see that how can we pass the complete object. So I want to pass the complete object, and in complete a complete object. So in the curly braces we pass the object, and we have to pass the object. So I'll put another curly braces, and we will do like brand equals Sonata, and model is some, or we can use like year is 2020, like this. So if I want to car object says, car object says car object says is car brand is what? So prop is object, and in the prop we are getting another object which is the car. So prop dot car, from the car object we have to access the brand, right? And brand is this, and year is, so we have prop dot car dot year. So this is how the things work. So car object says car brand is Sonata and the year is 2020. This is how we can pass the variable, we can pass the string, we can pass the number, we can pass the state variable, string number, and the object, right? And one more thing I want to show you, we will cover this concept later, but let me show you what is the effect if we pass this state, right? So basically, if we let me show you first by print on the console that we are in car component, right? And now we are in garage component. So I want to show you that basically, let me inspect it and show you the output. So if I load this application, first the car component will be loaded, this one, and then inside that garage will be loaded. So that's why we are in the car component first, and then the garage component will be then mounted, and we will get the we are in the garage component, like this. Okay, so that's all for this video. We will cover some important concepts in the next videos as well. Thank you very much.